It's race day and our drivers are all out on the grid performing their final checks before we get underway here at the Bahrain International Circuit. We'll be racing around 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit today. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left down into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Oscar Piastri lines up on pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Leclerc, Verstappen, Sainz, Ricciardo, Stroll, Fernando Alonso, Russell, Hamilton, Tsunoda, Joe, Magnussen, Sargent, Bottas, Ocon, Gasly, Albon, and Nico Hulkenberg rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. And alongside me today, a man who I'm always pleased to see join me in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. Now, I'll be generous here. It's not that long ago that you were racing and entertaining us on a Sunday. But in the years since, the sport has changed quite a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has, Crofty. You know, the cars have got bigger, they're heavier, but critically, there's more downforce to play with as well now. There was about 4 tons of downforce on the car at 300 kilometres an hour when I drove. You're now looking more towards 5 tons of downforce. So there's a big difference in performance. But because of that, the car being heavier and bigger, you've got to drive in a smoother way. You've got to look after it a bit more. You've got to nurse it through the slow speed corners more. They were much more nimble, agile machines when I drove in Formula 1 compared to now.
DRS now enabled. DRS enabled. lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. Okay, final lap. Let's go. Final lap.
Checkered flag.
Yes, sir!
And Leclerc to the line, to the checkered flag. It's King Charles today. He wins.
Well, it's never easy and straightforward to put a race like this together today, Crofty, in changeable weather conditions, but they did the best job out there. They used the information wisely and they stayed on the track. That was the most important thing.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari, do it again. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.